Welcome to Alpacamade. I'm so glad you stopped by. It is Monday, June 25th, 2020. Where did the time go? Never mind, let's just press on. If you were with us last week, you saw our spectacular disaster in the making. However, we rescued it. You saw the end result, and you saw some cleaning and maintenance tips on your crock pot. This week, we're actually going to do the cold process. No disasters this time. Please, God, no disasters. I'm going to do things just a little bit differently. I'm going to run the basic soap recipe. This is a basic lard soap. It's 30-30-30 ish. And so you're going to see me go in fast motion, but you will have, I hope, fingers crossed, the ingredients and percentage running along the bottom of the screen slow enough for you to be able to write down what you see me adding. We did our hot process last week and had a disaster, and so I went back and really studied both the function of the calculator as well as oil properties, saponification values, and so forth. And my conclusion is on this second trial with cold process that lard soap is a more liquidy soap in general. So if you are doing cold process, it's going to take you a minute to get to a decent trace. And just about the time you're getting a little frustrated because you're used to trace going a little faster, my suggestion is stop, clean up some of your tools, take 5 minutes, wash your lye bucket out. I always wash mine out, or at least run water in it as soon as I've poured it in the bowl. But nevertheless, just let the batter sit for 5 minutes, and it'll thicken up. Now, I stopped the mixing process when it was at a medium light trace because, honestly, I was getting frustrated and couldn't get my head around the fact that this batter is liquidy. So then I said, all right, I'm just going to pour it as is and we'll see what happens. I knew that I didn't have too much fat and that it would saponify because as you can see on the bottom, I reduced my SuperFat from the standard 5% down to 3%, and I did not add any extra oil after there's no fragrance oil, nothing else. And you can see how liquidy it is. I would call this a warm pudding texture, and it even looks like it when you're looking at it straight down. I made a little bit of a mess because I just anticipated a stiffer pour. But what I like about this is this soap is great for design because it stays so liquidy as long as you're not using fragrance oils that accelerate trace. And so I cleaned it all up and then I wrap it up in a nice little package like I did for our other cold process soap with the bubble wrap down on the top and the Reflectix over the top and long sides for insulation, weighted it down like you saw me do before, and waited overnight. As you can see, this morning I pulled it out of the wood mold because I need the wood support for hot process. I can tell you I did not unmold it. I will do a cut of both bars in a few minutes for you, but I'm already set up to do hot process of this exact same recipe, and so I need to get after it because I suspect, as is reputed, that lard soap is going to be a very hard set, and this was not even 24 hours set for the cold process. Normally you wouldn't unmold it before 24 hours. Let's see what happens. Well, the first thing that happens is that in the process of trying to get the air bubbles out, I shoot hot oil. So that's a good start. I put my lye solution in. All my oils were melted. My hard oils were melted. Everything was ready to go. I'm dropping in my sodium lactate, and we're about to take off. So here we go. Looks good to me. It does take a while, it seems to me, for lard to incorporate and start to saponify. Maybe that's just me, I don't know. Maybe it's my environment, I don't know. What I've observed over the last 3 loaves that I've made with lard, and this is a remake um, with exactly the same everything of the first attempt. What I will say about this is, in both cold process and hot process, I added exactly the same fragrance oil, which is tea tree. I know that I said earlier that I didn't add fragrance oil, but when I looked down at my notes to be able to put the recipe up on screen, I realized, oh yeah, there's tea tree oil in there. All this is going on this morning. I had everything all set up, and I'm starting to develop a routine on soaping days where I get all my oils set up, I get everything laid out, so that the only time you see me go off camera is to put the lye pot under running water right away. Here we go. We're all mixed up. It's a nice thick pudding stage. I've set a timer for 4 minutes, but you couldn't see it. So I go and check the camera to see if you can see things. And oh no, you couldn't see the timer. So, okay. Yep. Second boil over, but this time I am very proud of myself. I saved the whole thing. There was about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup that actually went over, and I just scooped it all up off the mat and dumped it right back in the pot. So for comparison purposes, the one on the left is the cold process and the one on the right is the hot process. Those molds are the same size, by the way. Here's a look at the cold process cut. The hot process is still too sticky to cut. I mentioned last time that if you wanted to become a tester and you're already a YouTube subscriber, please let me know in the comments. If not, you can pop over to alpacamade.com and become a faithful tipper at $2.25 a month, and I will be sending you samples to test. I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks so much for stopping by. God bless. See you soon.